G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. I'm Julie, for those of you that are new to my channel. And today I am going to do some alcohol ink resin coasters. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to make some blanks. Now you could potentially make your own coasters like this. You could use little timber coasters, metal coasters, acrylic, blanks, anything you like, really. Maybe you've got some old coasters, some old resin coasters that aren't quite what you wanted them to be. You could turn those into something new, reuse them. But today, like I said, I'm going to make I'm going to make my own blanks. And because I'm not very patient, I am going to use this polyurethane resin from Let's Resin. It's water thin and it cures up really quick. All right, so I'm going to do that, and then that way I can get straight on to doing my alcohol ink coasters in half an hour or so. So what I need is 4 little paper cups, because I'm doing 4 coasters, and I'm only going to do one at a time because this resin sets up so quickly. If you're not used to it, do one at a time, because yeah, you mix it for 30 seconds, you pour it, and that's it. So you don't have time to do 4, otherwise it would flash cure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 45 grams of A and 45 grams of B, and I think that's going to be enough for 1 coaster. There we go, 45 and 45. I have found with part B it sort of crystallizes a little bit, so sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get the lid off, but I just banged it on the side of the bench and it loosened. I think it's typical of part B of resins to do that, especially when they, in a colder climate. All right, so that's that one there. But yeah, it's I just, like I said, I just bang it on the side of the bench. All right, so that's it there. Now I'm going to look at my clock. I'm just going to wait 5 seconds until we get to the 12. All right, here we go. I'm going to stir. So I'll just do it here in front of you because it's not going to take very long. It's starting to warm up already, and it's only been like 10 seconds. Same as you do with normal resin. Wipe the side, swipe the stick, scrape along the bottom. You want to make sure that it is all mixed up. Yep, there's something in there, a little bit of that crystallized stuff. All right, so now we are coming up to the 30-second mark, and I am just going to pour that in now. So it's probably just been over 30 seconds, but yeah, it's getting warm already. Now the longer you leave it, the faster it's going to cure up. I am going to just take that all the way up to the top. When resin cures, it kind of shrinks away from the sides a little bit, and if you don't fill it all the way up, I've got some left. If you don't fill it up all the way, then you get that little sort of dip with a sharp edge. So I do try to fill mine all the way. All right, so now, okay, so I don't need 45. There's a little bit left. All right, so I am going to do the next one now I'll just do 40 and 40. I'll wipe my little stick because I'll use that again, but I can't use that cup again because it will cure. So I'll just do one more for you. Oops. And then I'll just put you on a fast forward. Now you can keep an eye on this while I'm mixing my next one. I'm only going to do 40 and 40. Probably don't even need that, but look, I'll do it, and then maybe on the next one I can just do like 35 and 35. This is my 12 centimeter coaster. 12 centimeters, about 5, oh gosh, how many inches is that? I think it's about 5. Yep, just under 5 inches. All right, so 40 with the next one. I will link this mold for you down in my description. It's just a good all-rounder for that sort of, for your coasters. You can basically do anything with it. Just an all-round good little mold to have in your repertoire. Okay, so that's 40 and 40. Now look at that. See how that's going white already? All right, here we go. Look at my clock. Stir again. Probably, the last one was 40 seconds. I'll probably just do 40 seconds. Somewhere between 30, 45 seconds, depending on how well you're mixing it. And it dries white, which is perfect because I want white coasters. So if I didn't use the polyurethane resin from Let's Resin, I would mix up some regular white resin or regular resin and tint it white because I want white for these. I have asked Let's Resin to make a black polyurethane resin. I really hope that they do it because I tend to use black more than I use white. So I am hoping that they will make that for us. You know, when you just want to do a top coat like on your 3D blooms, or you want to put some black behind your fantasy film or your chameleon powders. You know, you just want a thin layer of black, and I think it would be perfect for that. So I'm really hoping that they will do it. I have had to buy it from a different company through eBay because I wanted black. So yeah, hopefully they'll do that for us. And now look at that one. That one is white already. That one is, we'll get there. So by the time I have done these two, that one will be ready to unmold. But I will come back to you once I've poured these two and they're all cured, and I'll show you what the next step is going to be. All right, so I'm just going to mix up my next one. So 40 was pretty good. Probably could get away with 35, but there we go. It's 40 and 40, so I'll take that up to 80. You know, if you're a gram or two under or over, it's really not going to make any difference. Don't be too concerned. Alrighty. I will do these next two, and I'll see you when it's time to unmold. All right, they are ready. So let's get them out. Oh, you're popping out already. Okay. Let's get them out. Come out nice and easily. Like I said, I will link that for you down below in the description, below the video. So the top side is a little bit on the domed. Yeah, I don't think it really matters which side you want to use. So, this is exciting. I don't really know where to start. Let's start at the very beginning. We'll just do one for now. Move these others out of the way. Actually, I'll just put them over here. Out of the way for now. All right, and I'm going to put down a piece of plastic. And I'm also going to put down just a piece of paper towel because I think this is going to get messy, you guys. I think it's going to get messy. All right. I have got my little, what do you call it? Little heat gun. You need something that's going to blow your inks around. I mean, I would prefer it if I had like a small hair dryer and I could just put it on cool, but I've only got a really big one that I used to use for my acrylic pouring, so yeah, this is going to have to do. But it will dry the alcohol more quickly, I guess. So I am using I'm using Let's Resin Alcohol Inks, and I've just opened my black because I've run out of black, and I also need an orange. I want to use the orange today. I want to do black, brown, and orange. So when you get your little alcohol inks, there's a little booklet in there as well that tells you all about them, and different products. There's different products on there. Okay, that's not exactly about the alcohol inks. What's this one? Okay, how to use them. How to use the alcohol inks. User manual shows you how to open them. So yeah, lots of interesting information in there, helpful information. But like I said, I only want, my other colors are good. I just had to break open my box for the orange. So what you need to do is put your gloves on, because it can be messy. No, it is messy working with inks of any kind. So pop your gloves on. Now when you buy your alcohol inks, you get this little thingy, and it's got a little pin in there. I've used this one before, as you can see. So what you need to do is push down and turn. They've got like a child lock on them, and then don't cut the top off. What you need to do is you need to use this little pin thing, and it goes into the top. Make sure that it's fitting in there, and just push down like that, okay? And then be careful when you take the lid off, because it can spray. Now because I've used that on my black, I've now got black on my ink, so I'm just going to just take that first little bit out, because now I've got black on it. But there we go. All right, perfect. It's a lovely orange color. Now I'm not sure if I want to do all of them the same color, and yeah, I don't know. We're just going to see how we go. So black, brown, orange, and then I'm using, I don't have a Let's Resin metallic alcohol ink, so I've just found my Pinata brass. I thought that might look nice. So I'm going to get all my colors out and ready. I should put the lids behind them so I know which is which. And that's the black. All right, now bear with me here. I am by no means an expert at this, but I am going to try. I haven't done an alcohol ink pour for years. I have done one, but not for years. Now you can use alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. I use this one. It's actually 100%. There. 100% isopropyl alcohol. Use as high as you can, and then there's also something like a color extender which you can use. I might try that a different time, but yeah, I'm just going to go with the alcohol. So I've poured some into this little bottle here, and I've also got some in my little spray bottle as well. So I thought I'll see how that goes. So I've got some pouring and I've got some spraying for the alcohol. All right. I'm nervous, and I got a little brush as well, just in case I need to like fix any little areas. All right, are we ready? Let's do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some isopropyl onto there. I'm going to put down a drop of black, and put down a drop of brown, and a couple of drops of orange, because I think maybe the black will take over a little bit, and a little bit of the brass. All right, here we go. Now I'm not quite sure what these colors are going to do, so if I don't like them I can change them. And I've just done, well, it's only got one, oh gosh, it's only got one speed. Just going to kind of push these around a little bit. Might have had too much on there, too much alcohol. So I basically just want to get a nice little pattern happening. I've lost all the black. Put a little bit more orange on there and a little bit more black. Now you can keep adding as long as the coaster is wet. Once it starts to really dry out, then you're going to have to add more isopropyl. So you can see that it's not moving anymore. So now I'm going to add a little bit more and a little bit more black. So as long as it's wet with the isopropyl, your inks will move. And basically just let your creativity go. Just, you know, whatever you want to do. And then again, if it starts slowing down, you'll have to wet it again. Now I wonder what will happen if I just put a little bit of spray there. Let's have a look. Yep, that works as well. So if you don't want to pour a lot on, but you just want to have a little bit more color in a certain area, you can do the spray as well. So that's a good thing to know. I'm going to put some more black and gold over on this side. So basically, look, there's no right or wrong, as you can see. I'm just adding whatever I kind of like. And you can keep changing it. And if you don't like it, you can just wipe it off. So, yeah, don't be too stressed. I was a bit stressed to start with, but look, I'm enjoying it. And, you know, just, I wouldn't mind having a little bit left of the white here and there. And you can make it as blended or as sort of harsh edges as you want. So I've seen some where people, you know, really blend them a lot. And again, that's totally up to you. Now I haven't got any color just there. I'm going to just spray that and just move that color a little bit. It's kind of clinging to the edges a bit. And see that harsh sort of line there where I've blown it across? I don't really like that, so I'm just going to spray that. And we'll just move that off the edge again. Alright, well, that's looking really pretty. I like it. I would like a little bit more orange. So I'm going to pop a little bit more isopropyl there. I'm going to put a little bit more orange just there. And another little bit of the brass. And see what that looks like. Alrighty, so I guess, you know, you could take as long as you want with this, as little time as you want with it. I'm going to try just with this little edge again. I keep getting this little edge. I'm just going to kind of break that up a little bit. With my little brush, and that worked too. Yep, that worked really well because I had that little sort of lip there. So what do you think? You liking that so far? I like how it's got a little bit of white there. Might just put a tiny bit more color on it. Just a little bit of black just there. Oops, I've got... See, that's the thing with the spray. It's kind of... Oh gosh, maybe that's not such a good idea. It's kind of... Yeah, okay, let's not do the spray because that's dried already. Because it's dried already, so it's given that sort of splashed kind of look. So yeah, don't really like that. All right, so what we could do, okay, it doesn't come off that easily when it's dried, but I'm sure if you had to wet that, it would come off really easily. Okay, it does. Now this is just my little pet test piece, okay? So I think if you're new to anything, a new technique, a new medium, don't be afraid to just have little test pieces like I'm doing. All right, so we won't use the spray, we know that. Let's put some more alcohol on the top there. And whoops, a little bit of brown. I'm going to do 3 blacks and a little bit of orange and some of the brass as well. All right, let's see how we go with this. We'll see whether actually using more isopropyl alcohol to begin with is a good thing. You know, actually covering the whole surface. See if that's a better option, which I think it might be by the looks of it. A bit more black. Like I said, look, there's no right or wrong. Just do whatever you want to do, whatever you like. Yep, that's the black's not moving very much there, so I obviously need to have a little bit more alcohol on that. Like so. Now the brass kind of floats on top, which is really pretty. And at some stage you have to say, okay, that's enough. All right, look at that. Oh, I really like that. I do. The only thing I don't like is that rough, harsh edge there. So I'm just going to just sort of break that a little bit, just on the edge. And I want a little bit more of the orange. And one more of the black. Okay. So I'm getting that ring around the edge where the ink is kind of running around the rim of the coaster, and I guess that's just how it's going to be. If you don't like it, like this, just get a brush like I'm doing. That seems to work well. And we can do that. Now, I guess the other thing we can do, let me just get a cup. I'm just going to pop a little bit of isopropyl in my cup here. I wonder if this will work. Now look, if you're not interested in watching me do all these little experiments, if you are already an expert at this, then feel free to fast forward. I'm just doing this as a very, very beginner. I just need to break up this little area. Just on the edge there. Oops. Maybe I had too much ink. That could have been my problem at the beginning, that I just had maybe a little bit too much ink. What do you think? Too much ink for my alcohol, maybe? All right, so there comes a time where you just have to say enough's enough, because I think you're going to want to fiddle constantly. And look, that's fine. You can add more alcohol to this and, you know, work on it, play with it, whatever you want to do with it for a long time. You can blend it more. I actually like these lines because when it's dry, I'm going to go through and I'm going to add some, move that out of the way. I'm going to add some more ink to it. I'll show you what I mean. That worked well as well. If I just want to dab a little bit, I'm liking that. I do want to a little bit darker, like a bit more black, but I really do like that one. Now, I need to find, I wonder if that'll do, a very fine little brush. I don't really have, that's probably as small as the one that I've got. We'll see if it'll work. Just going to pop a little bit of that gold on there, and I'm just going to kind of draw like that. See, just to kind of highlight a few areas. I think I'm going to need a much finer brush though, but I don't have one. I really don't have one. Maybe I could use like a toothpick, maybe. Anyway, just put a little bit on wherever you want it. Could potentially use a toothpick. I'm not going to do too much. Just a little bit. Where see these, where this black sort of comes down like this. Just going to kind of do that, like so. So that's just a very small amount of that brass, and I think that looks really pretty. Now, once I've done all of them, I will give them a spray with some clear lacquer. I have a few actually, like something like this, a gloss clear coat, just a spray. There's another one there, there's a gloss. So once I've done them all, I'll give them a spray. I'll take them outside and do them. They've got those, you know how you have to shake them? I'll put them on a piece of cardboard and take them all outside and give them a light spray. Because once they dry and you put your top coat of resin on, they may leach their colours into the resin, and we don't want that. So we want to put some clear spray down just to hold those colours. So that they don't move. All right, that was a lot of fun. I think what I'll do is, when I do the next one, I'll just put you on a fast forward because, you know, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. But hopefully you're enjoying it. So I'm going to do a set in these colours, set of 4. And the next time, maybe I'll get a little bit more experienced, or you guys can give me some advice down below if you have done this before. If you can see where I'm going wrong, I'm sure I am. First time, I don't know what I'm doing. We'll learn together. All right, so there's a few steps to it. We make the blank, the white blank. We do our alcohol inks. We spray them to set them. I probably then go around and do a gold or copper or brass edge, and then we'll top coat them. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long process, but I think it'll be worth it. I think they'll be really pretty. I'm not liking this little blob here. I'm going to see if I can fix that little blob. But apart from that, I'm happy with it. Just don't like that little blob. Now I've added, I haven't got quite enough, but I did want some more black, so I'm just going to put a little bit more black there. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, see, now I've got another little blob. Oh my gosh. Blobbies. You can just take it out, okay? You can just take it out. All right. See what I mean? You can go on forever. You can go on forever. But look, I've got a little bit more black there. I've got rid of that little blobby. I quite like seeing that little bit of white showing through. So don't mind that at all. All right, I'm going to put you on a time lapse, and I'm going to do another one. I'm going to put some music on and just enjoy it. All right, they have been drying for a few hours, so hopefully they are dry. And I've just brought them outside into my garden, put them on an old pizza box that I use for spraying. Now this says that it is an acrylic spray paint. You just got to make sure that you don't have anything with alcohol in it, otherwise it might lift the alcohol inks that are already there. So I will try and just give it a light spray. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Oops, there was a hair in that one. Ah, it's gone now. Alright, I'm just going to give it probably half an hour, and then I'm going to come back and do another light coat. That one looks a bit heavy. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to come back and do another light coat, and yeah, and then I'll go inside and we'll do a top coat with resin. Alright, back inside. So I gave these 2 very light coats of the spray, and it was getting a bit late, so I just thought I'd leave them overnight to dry, which they have done beautifully. And now it's time to do the edges. Because I'm going to do a top coat, I thought I might as well do the edges first with the gold, and then I can resin those in rather than resin them and then put that on the outside. It'll just protect them a little bit more. Now these they weren't anything like what I had imagined them to be, but I still really like them. My husband said they look like rock, which is great. Like, I wanted like a natural look. This one has got more white in it, and that's got some white, and then these 2 are more dark. What I was thinking as I was looking at them last night is maybe I put too much alcohol and too much ink in there to begin with and sort of blew it around. So when I do it next time, I'm going to add just like do a little section, blow it around, let it dry, move on, do another section, blow it around, let it dry, just sort of get more of a different sort of a look, I guess. Look, I don't know. It's small on it's hard on a small piece. Now before you do this with the alcohol inks, you may want to protect the back. It was just an experiment for me, so I'm not terribly fussed about the back looking a bit messy, but you could. And also I have got these are only 10 centimeter. They've got a sticky backing on them, but they're cork, and I thought that would look really nice as a backing. So if I had a bigger one, I would use that, or maybe you can buy this like on a roll or in sheets, and then you could potentially, mark out the size that you wanted and cut it out and stick it to the back. But you could also tape the back so that you've got a white backing, but I think that the cork looks really nice. So what I might end up doing is maybe just colouring the back bit and then sticking the cork on as well. So a few options with the backing, but let's move on and do the edge. So I've got my gold decor color pen that I use a lot, but it's too yellow, so that won't work. And then my copper it's too copper, so it doesn't match either. So then I was having a look to see what I've got, and I have found this. It's Model Master. It's for like little model aeroplanes and cars and things like that. So I think it's an enamel. So it stays on really well. So I did the back too. I came out to video and realized that my battery was flat. It didn't charge overnight. It was plugged in, but it didn't charge. So anyway, I just thought I'd do those 2, and then I'll do these 2 with you. So what I'm going to do is, look at that, it's like molten lava. I'm going to pour a little bit in there, like so, and I'm just going to pop it on there just so that I don't make a mess. And I've got a little brush, dip that in there, make sure that your hands are clean, you haven't got any paint on them, otherwise you're going to transfer it to there. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint the edge. So look at that. So using these enamel paints is really quite easy, and the little jar of paint does go a long way. So, and it's just a different option, I guess, to the Deco Color markers, and I'm going to try and get just the top edge as well if I can. It doesn't look very neat. My brush, it's a bit, hairs are sort of poking out everywhere. Actually, maybe a little foam brush might, I don't know, did they make little foam brushes? It's just that the hairs are kind of spiky. They kind of go everywhere. Anyway, let's do the edge and then let that dry totally, and then come back and do the top coat of resin. So I've just got them sitting on some little plastic containers here so that the bottom, because I'm doing, you know, the bottom's wet as well, I don't want them touching my workbench. Okay, that's done. Now very carefully, if I can, I'm going to use the bottom section of my brush where it's not too hairy, and see if I can just get along that top edge. It's not doing a very good job of it. I'm going to come up with something else. Oh gosh, actually, oh, what about, oops, stay there for a sec. What about these little micro brushes? That might work better. I only just realized that I had those, because they're not, you know, haven't got hairs all over them, so that might be a better option. Let's have a look. So dip some in there. Yes. Oh my gosh. I always do things the hard way first, and then I realize that maybe there's a better way. So yeah, I just want to try and get just the, whoops, not too thick, just a little bit along the edge there. You can see that I've sort of done it on that one as well, but I did struggle with the brush. Whoops. So anyway, I'm going to finish this one, I'm going to do the next one, and then I will come back to you when it's time to do the flood coat. And I am going to use, oops, there's a bit thick there. I'm going to use the Let's Resin 1:1 because it's a nice thick resin, you know, the fast curing one, because it's a 1:1, it's a nice thick one. And it's, thick resins are generally better for doming. They tend to cling to the sides more than, you know, a thin resin would do. So anyway, up to you as to how thick or thin that you want to do your little edge. I'll get the hang of this. But by the time I'm done, I'll have got the hang of it. There we go. There we go. All right, done. All right, I'm going to do the next one. I won't bore you with it. Now I'm going to make sure I get this paint off my hands before I touch that one, otherwise I'm going to end up with gold on there. All right, I will see you for the top coat. So if you wanted to tape the backs up, I just do it like this with masking tape. You could use you know, painter's tape. I don't think I've got any left, so I just put some across like that, and then with my scissors I'm just going to cut as close to the edge as possible, like that. All the way around. Probably should do it before you paint your sides so that you don't scratch them, but I'm doing things a bit backwards today, only because it was just a little experiment and I didn't know whether I was actually going to, you know, cover the sides, but I thought I'll just show you how you can protect the backs if you wanted to. If you didn't want to resin the sides, you could just do a top coat, you know, just on the top, and not have to worry about going over the sides. So you could do it either way. Either way. So this one is ready to flood the sides as well, and then once it's done, you just peel that tape off. So that's how it's done. I might do like 2 over the sides and then 2 just on the top, just so that you can see the difference. I wasn't going to do this, I just mixed up my resin. It's ready, that's why I got my gloves on. I thought, maybe I should do this, but I'll probably take my gloves off for this. Would be easier. Oh, doesn't matter, it's on now. On now. So, that's a bit short, so it can go down here. Make sure that your edges are pushed down. You don't want to get any resin going underneath your tape. And just overlap a little bit, go around the edges, and one more. Okay, that's done. Oops, tape's sticking to me. Oh gosh, all right. And then again, just trim your tape. It is a little bit more messy doing it this way, having the resin run down the sides, because it's all going to, drip. So make sure that you have got either a silicone mat or a piece of plastic on your work bench to protect it from resin. Okay, that's that done. All right, so I'll do the sides on these 2 and just the tops on these 2. I decided to do all of them. I've taped them all. I thought, well, if I'm doing a set, I might as well just do them all. So while I was taping them up, I popped my cup of resin into my Let's Resin bubble removing machine, so it is nice and crystal clear. And let's just do this, shall we? Oh, look at that! Look how beautiful that looks once the resin hits it. Just brings those colors to life. So I'm just going to pop a little dollop on each. I mixed up 60 grams of A and 55 grams of B. Oh, I'll just grab the bottle so you can see. That's them there, the Let's Resin Fast Cure. So did those. All right, now you can either use a silicone brush, you can use an offset spatula. Sometimes it's easier with that, but yeah, let's just do it. A smaller one as well works really well. I've got different sizes, so let us just push this resin over the edge. Now you can see it's a nice thick resin, so it wants to, if you don't want to do the sides, you could just do the top. It's just sitting there like that, clinging to the edge. So I'm going to cover them all, and then I'll put a little bit more on and just sort of push it over the sides like that. So anyway, I'll just cover the surface first. I flipped my little cups over so that they were the wider side at the top, just so that I wouldn't get drips of resin. Oops, that one's gone over. So I wouldn't get drips of resin on my little cups. So I've got the wider side at the top. Oh, look how beautiful that's looking, because my colors have gone from like a matte to a gorgeous gloss. It looks really pretty. This offset spatula is working really well. so, and I don't have to worry about it going over the sides. Normally when I'm doing top coats I have to worry about the resin going over the sides, but I don't have to do that today because I want it to go over the sides. The only thing is it's moving. I can hold on. No, my little cups are moving. Right, so there we go. We are coated now on the top, so now I'm just going to go and put another little dollop on each, and then hopefully this will just cascade beautifully over the edges. I'm going to leave a little bit in my cup just in case I need a little bit more. So now I'm just going to push that over the sides. There it goes. And of course you could use your gloved finger if you wanted to, just so that you're not wasting so much resin, I guess. I'd have to, might be easier just doing two. But before I do that, if I know I am going to be touching resin with my gloves, I'm going to double glove, because anything can happen. You can have a tear, you can have a hole in your gloves, and then the last thing you want is resin on your fingers. So I always make sure that I double glove if I'm going to be doing this sort of thing. And then once you've, another reason as well is that you know, once you've finished, you can take your top layer of gloves off and you can then have nice clean gloves. It's probably easier just doing it like this actually. Push a bit over, massage it onto the sides, push a little bit more over, massage it onto the sides, and then with your other hand you can just sort of, you know, hold it so that it's not sliding around everywhere. Okay, let's do this one. Push a bit over, rub it in, push some more over, rub it in, push some more over, rub it in. I wouldn't suggest you do this with a really fast setting resin. You know, you are going to need a little bit of time. But this resin lets resin fast cure. This is what I use for my 3D blooms. So I do wait until my resin has got to about 35 degrees before I pour my blooms, so I know it's got a good working time. Especially for something like this, which is quite a thin amount of resin. It's not going to cure all that fast because it's a thin layer of resin. The deeper your resin, the faster it's going to cure. Oops, get back over there. I don't want you getting on my bench. All right, push it to the edges. I should be using my right hand actually to do this. Sometimes I use my left hands. I eat with my left hands, you know, with your fork in the right hand. Maybe I was supposed to be left-handed. My parents knocked it out of me when I was little. I don't know. I've got two left-handed children, but my husband and I are both right-handed, so I don't know. But sometimes I just do things left-handedly. All right, so that is done. I think that's done. Just go through and make sure that I've got everything. Now if you try to do this with a really thin resin, you'll find that it sort of pulls away from the edges, pulls away from the sides. It's really not going to work all that well. If that's all you've got, then you can just wait until it's thickened and then use it. But this is just perfect. Just want to make sure, I'm just having a look and making sure that it's all covered. Now where I've sort of stuck my fingers in a little bit, I can see that it needs a little bit more, but I do want to just make sure that I'm just going to do this all the way around. because I can't really turn them. If I was just sort of doing one at a time, I could sort of put on a wheel, a turntable, but I don't have that. So, well, I do, but not big enough for all of these. Okay, so that's good. Take these top layer of gloves off now. So now with my little bit of leftover resin, I'm just going to pour a little bit more on, just to let it self-level and sort of covering all those little marks that I've made when I was touching the coaster. And now I'm just going to give it a very light torching. Actually, I'd better not use my torch. I have in the past used a torch, and it's kind of made like a honeycomb effect. Has that ever happened to anybody? You've looked at the surface and it's just not totally smooth. It looks as if it's got like a honeycomb pattern or effect on it. So I thought, better not do that. I can't remember which resin. I'm just going to do this. I can't remember which resin I was using that happened to me, but I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So I could potentially just use my heat gun just to sort of very lightly just sort of pop a few bubbles. Like I said, I don't want to use my flame because I don't want that weird honeycomb reaction thing going on. Let me know down below in the comments, has that ever happened to you? You've got that honeycomb look. It's bizarre, bizarre. All right, so that's pretty much it. You could, if you wanted to, go around and sort of catch those drips as they're falling, but really your tape is there, you know, to catch all that extra resin. So you really don't need to worry about it. You need to clean off your little spatula before the resin cures on it. All right, these are looking amazing. They look so good once that clear coat's gone on them. Look at that. Oops. Oh gosh, it's so hard to get. It's so hard to get a good shot with all the lights reflecting all over it. But yeah, it's looking really, really pretty. Now I'm going to see if I can take you down so that you can have a look at that. The doming. So I can. Oops, we're not focusing all that well. But anyway, you can see there the drips along the edges, and like I said, if you wanted to, you could go through and catch those, but they're just going to continue to drip, and that's fine. We'll clean them up later. All right, I will see you later on today. I've got someone coming to look at their puppy for the first time, so we're going to do that this afternoon. I'll see you all real soon. All right, I think they are ready. Move that little net out of the way. That stopped any little hairs and bugs and things getting in there. So I do want to turn them over and try and get the tape off before they get too fully cured. There's a little piece of, so that's still quite soft, but then it's quite a thin piece, but I won't touch the top. Oh, I want to see if I can get this tape off. Just gonna have a little look. If it's still too soft, then I'll leave it. There we go. But I think it's easier to get the tape off when the resin's still a little bit on the soft side. If you haven't got it off and it's starting to really set quite hard, you can get your heat gun, not the one with the flame, but just the electric heat gun, and just warm this resin. I've got ink. I was opening a blue alcohol ink, and of course I wasn't wearing gloves, and now I've got blue ink everywhere. And so that comes off really easily. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. All right, let's go there. Next. I won't touch the top, just in case I leave a fingerprint. And my little cups are good, I can use those again. Let's peel that off. I won't do them all now in front of you, I just thought I'll just do a couple. You can see how that's lifting really nicely. Just sort of push that way, you know, towards the outer edge rather than pulling into the center. And yep, comes off really easily. It certainly is much easier than like previous times where I've tried to get tape with drips off the bottom and it's gone rock hard. It just doesn't bend, you know, it's still bendy, so it's easier to do now. All right, you can sit there, you can sit there, and I'm going to do the rest of these, and then I will take a nice photo for you. Get rid of all of that. Get these done, take a nice photo. They are looking so good. Very happy with them. What do you think? Oh, and my mold, the one I used to do this, it's on sale at the moment. So if you check out down in the description, I will link that 4-coaster mold for you. I do have 10% off store-wide in my eBay store at the moment. So, and I do ship worldwide. If there's a few molds that you want, put everything in your cart and then check out pay once. Don't pay for each mold individually, because then you'll be paying shipping for each mold. Put everything in your cart, pay once, and combined shipping will be calculated at checkout for you. Oops, let's put that back. A little bit of tape stuck on there. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, they are so pretty. They are so pretty. I really like them. Okay, I've got one more to do. I'm going to do that. I'll take some photos. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Sorry if it's a little bit long, but there was a few steps to this project, but I've already picked my colors out for the next one. And I'm going to do, I'll show you, I'm going to do green and blue. Now I'm also using the Let's Resin, but I'm using the translucent next time. I don't know if it makes any difference, but I'm going to do green and blue, and I'm going to do gold, and I can't remember if I've already told you, but I will link Let's Resin for you down below in the description as well. I might as well just do this one while I'm talking to you. You can get the white polyurethane resin. So there's the regular website, their US Amazon website, and their UK Amazon website. So you can check those out. Some people have said to me in Australia they can't buy Let's Resin. You can buy some items through Amazon Australia. I've bought through there before, and maybe not all the products, but they're very helpful people, and I'm sure if you wanted something you could email them, message them, and I'm sure they'll find a way of being able to send it to you. So yeah, check those links out as well. All right, I'm done. I love them, I love them, I love them. Let me know what you think. All right, I will see you all hopefully for the next video, and we'll do some more of these. I might maybe I can do the smaller ones and put these on the back. But I also want to do some geode shaped ones. So I don't know, I'll do a few. We'll do some purple and pink ones, we'll do some blue and green ones, these ones. Yeah, I'm going to do heaps. Loving doing these. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Take care. Bye for now.